I feel like there at some point in time, like me and him should be on it together because we've been in a band together for fucking ever, dude. Like for fucking ever.
To have you and Tim on? Yeah, that would be cool. I was wondering why you didn't want to bring anyone else on with you.
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think about that, to be honest with you.
That's okay. We got plenty more episodes,
Sick.
So we can do this.
Right on.
But so you came here to promote a specific project you're in, right?
Yeah, I mean, so there's two projects that we're working on right now. There's Shores of Ithaka, which is the more recent one, and then the first one. Then there's Born of Ash, which is the one that band kind of happened on accident, to be honest with you. Yeah. But both of them are recording and releasing material, so it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for the future for both those bands, actually.
That's good. That's good. Born of Ash. What kind of genre would that be then?
So, Shores of Ithaka is is more. I mean, it's just straight mellow death. You know, melodic as fuck. You know,
you said it was Bellacore, right? That
was
like
pretty much
the inspiration for it.
Yeah, Bellacore was the big one. So Bellacore was that was what myself and Mark. You know, we had. That was like the mutual interest that me and him had was Bellacore. Yeah. That's how we came together. So. And then, so it's just pure melodic or mellow death per se, because there's always most people call it melodic death metal. We tend to refer to it as mellow death just because, I guess, this is the genre snob in me, but I shouldn't say that, but mellow death to me is more like a mellow kind of I guess more somber, more pretty kind of type of death metal, as melodic death metal is more like the Iron Maiden-y kind of riffs combined with death metal. So, because we use a lot of acoustic guitars and clean guitars in our music. So it's more of like a mellow death metal, I guess is the best way to describe it. And then Born of Ash, that's kind of all over the place. That band is, we started it with the interest of wanting to do melodic death doom, I guess is the best way to describe it. More slower, more heavier, and it's still like that. We do have quite a bit of death metal influence in there as well, especially the song we just released, The Gravelord. That one is, there's no doom in that at all. It's blast beats and heavy and brutal. So but I guess we call it death doom, so that's the main title, but I guess you can call it multiple different things: melodic death doom, melodic death metal, whatever I guess people see fit to describe it as. Yeah.
Well, so far I've been liking the stuff you're producing, so it sounds really good, man.
Yeah, thank you.
You were showing me the new single earlier, and
yeah, that was the Shores of Ithaka single. That was
is that one out?
No, that one is the one we actually just got the first mix of that today, so that's why I was super excited. And that's gonna be the second single. It's called The Watcher, and it's gonna be interesting because the song is almost 10 minutes long. So releasing a 10-minute song or almost 10-minute song as a single is I don't know if that's ideal, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, I don't mind longer songs though.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of Opeth.
See,
so it's 8-9 minute songs. That's okay with me. 10 minutes, sure,
dude. Yeah, and that's so Opeth. At least for me, Opeth is God tier status. I worship the ground those guys walk on. So we do have some. That's the other influence that goes into the band is Bellacore and then Opeth. So we have a lot of Opeth style. I don't want to use the word progressive, I guess, because I think the term progressive is kind of just thrown on things a lot of the time, as opposed to what even it really is progressive.
It's too vague.
Yeah, it's a very vague. I think that just the more atmospheric elements of Opeth that we put in our music, which is the big chords, the dissonance, and everything that Opeth does. Not so much the clean vocals, but on the next releases, we're hoping to have some clean vocals on it. But yeah, so it's songs that, I think that the majority of the people aren't going to listen to all the way through, but
maybe
fuck it. That's what comes out of us. We do it out of passion, not out of, trying to make a career out of it. So,
but I mean, maybe that's like, just because you're not doing what you think people will want, just do what you want. Maybe there's people out there that want to hear that 10-minute song and every piece of it.
Yeah.
There's some parts in like some Opeth songs I'm like, fuck, like I can't wait till I get to that part, but you got to listen like 6 minutes in before you get to it. But it's like,
yeah,
like all the pieces work together. So if you do it right, man, those long songs will work out.
Yeah, dude. It's like Ghosts of Perdition, for example. That's probably that, and I don't know, that the Ghosts of Perdition and the Bang of the Hounds are the two songs that come to mind that there's not really much repetition in them, it's just riff after riff after riff after riff, and then some subtle up and down kind of elements, and it's almost like the song instead of like your typical, which a lot of people do, like songwriting structure, when it's like intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, midsection, then end the song with the chorus or whatever. It's like you kind of get that Opeth feeling where it's not really, there's no structure to the song. It just starts and it ends, and then whatever happens in between is just, kind of history. And it's like a wave, it's like it just goes up and down and all over the place. So, and that's kind of what we try to do with Shores of Ithaka, is to not really stick to a specific specific formula. Just write the song till the song feels right, So
I know what
the
you
best way to
mean.
describe
like
it.
That's one of the reasons I'm into like Opeth, and even Belacor. They do that a lot with their music, like where it's like not as repetitive. They don't do like verse 1, verse 2, and then back to verse 1, and then chorus, and then verse 1 again, or whatever.
Yeah,
like they don't really follow that kind of formula. They just kind of like write.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, of course. I think that people, that there's certain genres call for that kind of style.
Metallica.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great example. The big, the simplest formula. It's like, it's the simplest formula in the world, but it fucking works and people love it. I love it. Everybody loves it. It's, and it's just the genre, I guess, is what we're trying to accomplish with that, is create something that, I don't know. We always refer to it like, I don't want to like get too like specific, because there's a really good chance I might just like shove my foot in my mouth and sound like a douchebag, but kind of like more Journey-esque songs, to tell a story rather than, have a title with a meaning behind the song. We want to tell a whole story in like one song, I guess.
Yeah,
is the best way to describe it. So, and that's where that's the main influence behind Shores of Ithaka, is again that Opeth Belacor style, which is obviously Belacor, has said that they're influenced by Opeth. So, it's like,
it's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So, and then, I mean, Born of Ash is just, it's one of those bands it's a bit more simple, but it's simple for a reason. It's fun, it's heavy, it's aggressive, it's slow sometimes. So that one it's been a lot of fun to work on. Specifically, that one has been a lot of fun to work on, just because it's, because things are so simple, you can do so much with. Sometimes you can do a lot with something that's really simple, and the theme behind the band too is really fun as well.
Yeah. If you or when's your next show?
Good question. Oh, yeah, I totally brain farted there for a second. So Shores of Ithaka is playing May 9th with Moonspell, which is going to be pretty cool.
May 9th?
Yeah, May 9th at Last Exit Live. I've never actually played there. I don't even think I've ever been there.
Where is that?
I don't know. When I saw the flyer, I was like, I've never even heard of this place. So, but playing with Moonspell, which is going to be really cool. Moonspell is pretty, I wouldn't say a huge influence for me, but I do really enjoy them, so it's going to be cool to play with the band that is of that status. And
it's cool.
Yeah,
get a conversation in.
I hope so. I mean,
yeah, talk with them, man.
A lot of I would love that. And then playing with some, I think a group called Elaine is on that show, and then Oceans of Slumber, they're really cool as well. They're like a female fronted, more atmospheric, also kind of Opeth-y, but like the slower Opeth-y, the more like, I guess, I think if you were to take, the song Harvest by Opeth, I think if you were to take that song and make that an entire style with like female vocals, that's how I would describe them.
Yeah.
So that kind of idea, which should be pretty cool. And then Born of Ash, There's a lot of shows planned for that. I don't know specifically what the next one's going to be, but I do know that we are going to do July 22nd, which is going to be the Shores of Ithaka CD release show. So Born of Ash and Shores of Ithaka are going to play the same bill. So myself and Tim are going to pull double duty at that, which is going to be fun. We're going to open and we're going to close. So
Nice.
that's the only one I know for sure is confirmed, but there's a lot of things up in the air right now.
You know, recruit some people to help you out.
For what do you mean?
With like merch?
I hope so. We're actually looking for somebody to do merch for Shores of Ithaka at least, because we've got a lot of merch stacked up already, and you need somebody to sling that while we play, because you know if somebody's not if we're not at the merch table we're playing, then it's just completely unattended.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I know how that goes. I see that a lot whenever I go to a show. Like you always see a merch booth with like nobody there. You're like, what the. They don't have like a single friend who like, you know, the place usually lets the merch guy in for free. They usually don't charge him a ticket or anything. So it's like, bring someone along for free just to stand at the merch booth. And you're good to go.
Well, usually, I mean, most places and shows, like, well, venues at least, or whoever the promoter is, a lot of times they'll give you like, you know, guest list slots or like, you know, stuff for crew. I mean, obviously local bands don't have crew. But you know, when I say crew, I mean like obviously like merch guys and stuff like that. So
even if they don't offer it, like you can ask, and they'll probably just be like, "Okay,
yeah, go for it." Whatever.
It's like 20... what another $10 ticket or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like it's okay, whatever.
Well, depending on the show, you know, if nobody shows up, they might be like, "Hey, make that guy buy a ticket so he can make some money."
Buy a drink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's gonna buy some drinks.
He's gonna buy some beers.
Then fine.
Yeah,
come in.
Literally.
But. Yeah, man, it's just you don't get what you don't ask for, pretty much.
Yeah, but, yeah, it's exciting. You know, it's a lot of work being in two bands, but I'm kind of used to it at this point. So,
got any big plans for like touring with them? Gonna take them along on a tour. Go to Texas.
Yes, yes and no.
Too early.
No, it's I don't know. I have plans for touring, but like that's hard to really like. That's really hard to talk about because, you know, I don't like to like talk about that kind of stuff until I know it's like actually confirmed, you know. So but Born of Ash is trying to do the same thing, the whole Texas run. Well, I mean, as far as I'm aware, it's going to be Arizona and Texas in like October. So because I have a tour planned with another band that I'm playing guitar for from like late September to mid-October. So I was kind of hoping that like come back and then jump right back on another, I call it mini tour, I guess would it be, because it'll only be like 3 or 4 days. So, but just to get that band out on the road, because I know that everybody's eager to get out and play, especially because it's such a new band too. Everybody's just super eager to get out there and play.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And so that would be cool, but it's a lot of work and it's really expensive, especially when you're, you know, funding it completely yourself.
Gasoline. That's one of the biggest problems, really.
And renting a van too, it's not cheap. So
if you don't have somebody with a truck, at least you can rent a trailer. But
yeah, I mean, that's. I don't know what the plans for that is per se. I mean, we have 2 guys in the band that do have trucks that could definitely make the long distance, but the issue is well, I guess I don't want to call it an issue per se, because it's not an issue, excuse me, but everybody in that band is Born of Ash is fucking giant. Like just big guys, you know. Because I'm 6'4", our other guitar player is the same height as me, you know. We've got 3 other really burly dudes in the band, so the only one is Justin, who is our bass player, who's, you know, kind of a small guy, so cramming into a truck is going to be kind of difficult.
You just got to suck it up.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. That's the truth of it, is just kind of do it.
It's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Man, I had to sit in the middle in a what was it? Luis's uncle's truck was like a Ford, I think it was a 250.
That was That was where the hell was that? That was
That's when we went to Texas, right?
Yeah, what was that show though? I don't remember why we went. I'm trying to like jog. Oh, that was the Dirty Dog bar that we went to.
Yeah.
And then we tried to come back and play New Mexico. It was like a complete fucking shit show.
Oh yeah, dude.
I do
We
remember
left.
that. I forgot that you guys were in a truck for that.
Yeah.
And you guys are all fucking burly motherfuckers too.
You guys were in a truck too, or no? You had like an Explorer.
Yeah,
or some
it was like
shit,
a
or
like
expedition or something.
a rolling a fucking death tube basically is what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. We were all stuffed in a truck. Yeah, and I was in the middle the whole way to Texas, pretty much. That sucked.
Well, dude, and like that so it seemed like it would have been comfortable being in that like Suburban, but the problem is I guess one of like the unofficial written rules of like touring, well, at least from what I've been told, I'm not like experienced that much with touring, but from what I understand is you shouldn't sleep with your head towards the driver, because if they slam on the brakes in the middle of the night, then where are you going to go? Your head's just going to run right into the seat right above you. So you always got to sleep with your head directly away from the driver. But riding in that Suburban, it was like the back of it was like an incline like this when we put the seats down. So because if you were to sleep with your head away from the driver, then you're sleeping on an incline, which was like, I mean, at least for me, was hard to sleep. So I was just kind of like, fuck it, I'm just gonna face my head through the driver, and if I die, I die, no big deal. At least I'll die doing what I love.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that was the only weird part about sleeping in there. But yeah, we did another Texas run with Hinayana. This was Condemned Till Dawn. This was, obviously, so
right.
that was
Condemned
Till Dawn stuff. And that was in a van, and that was a little better because everybody could sleep on a bench. So as opposed to sleeping in the back of a Suburban, and when half the band is sleeping sitting up, and then two people in the back facing, sleeping laying down. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I've always had an idea to take this podcast mobile. Just
that'd be fucking
take
sick,
it in
dude.
a big ass van.
Do you think that you could actually go do like an actual like podcast like tour and go around and find different people to have on the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude,
I could easily do that. I mean, especially if I like followed another band, like followed a band that went on tour, either a band from Arizona or something, and then just find the bands that are like opening for them and do an episode with the bands that are opening for them, or something like that.
That is a really good idea.
Like that, I could easily draw attention to different people, but
Dude.
Like in order to get a vehicle, like I need to be pulling in some sort of income from this thing,
Yeah.
So because I want to be able to like, I don't know, maybe just write the vehicle off. If I get a Sprinter, I can write it off as a heavy duty like.
Well, a Sprinter in general would be like a blessing to have. I mean, because you could also, a lot of bands tour in Sprinters because apparently they're like super comfortable. I've never been in one. I don't even know what they look like on the inside, but a lot of people tend to say they're super. From what I understand, they're really comfortable.
Yeah, that'd be
really
cool. Anything like that, honestly, would be cool. A bigger van that you could just like gut out the back and like literally just put like maybe a small rack with the audio equipment. Put some arms on each corner for like mics and cameras, and then you got pretty much a studio right there. I could run the wires like up on the top corners so they're out of the way.
I'm gonna sound
cool.
I'm gonna sound like super uninformed right now, but I'm somebody probably has done that already. But like
Steve-O.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
somebody's actually done that.
Steve-O's podcast.
I don't even know
it's
who
in
that
a
is.
van. You don't know Steve-O?
No.
From Jackass?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, Steve-O from Jackass.
Yeah.
His podcast is called Wild Ride, and he just has a van. I think it's a Sprinter, but he just goes around and does podcasts with like comedians and actors and stuff. And
dude, that's fucking epic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I wanna do that with Things Beyond Sound. I think that would be dope.
Can you do you think you could like maybe tag along with a band and go around and talk to people, or would you want your own like transportation?
Well, it's a lot of equipment. Okay. I wouldn't want to like stack like 3 more boxes of equipment into the band gear, and like have to worry about all of that. Like I would rather just have the van, and then I would have a studio as well. Like just get in the van.
Yeah,
like
just lure random local bands around the city. You'd be like, "Hey guys, I want you to come into my van.
Hey, you want to be on my podcast?"
That'd be fucking awesome, dude. We'll see how many people you make uncomfortable being on a podcast.
I got free beer.
Yeah, I got free beer, but it's in a van, so it's really warm, and it's really. Do you like to drink warm beer and be in a van with a guy you don't know?
It's in that lunchbox over there.
Yeah, dude. That'd be sick though.
It'd be really fun. I want to make it all around the nation though. You know,
Yeah.
Go all the way to the cold places too.
The cold places.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I guess that like in my I'm not old age, but the older I get, the more I dislike the cold. So that just sounds terrible.
Well, I grew up here in Phoenix, so it's hard to live in the cold, man. I lived in Maryland for a little bit, and
really,
it was too fucking. I just hate snow.
Yeah, like, and you know what's ironic about that too is that, you know, I used to, especially in like my teenage years and like I guess just like peak like edgelord Nate, you know, I would always be like, you know, fucking winter snow, all this kind of stuff, you know, like it's beautiful and majestic and everything, and it's like away from humanity and it's all this kind of cool stuff, and I want to go spend time in the snow and everything. And when I finally got to do that, I'd been, you know, like as a kid, I'd been to like snow and everything. But when I was going, like I said, when I was, you know, I guess, like I said, peak edgelord Nate days, you know, I was like, when I actually spent more time in the snow and everything, I was like, dude, this fucking sucks. Like, I hate this. This is cold and uncomfortable, and I don't want to be in this anymore, especially because I've lived in Arizona my whole life. So it's, like it seems like it's cool, but in reality, once you actually get there, you're like, yo, fuck this,
dude. It looks really cool.
It looks great. It looks great on picture.
That's what gets everybody. Like, it looks really cool, and like, it's fun. You can do a lot of cool stuff in snow that you can only do in snow, like skiing and snowboarding. Like, good luck doing that somewhere else. Like,
and it's cold and it's uncomfortable and it sucks, and then especially when you have to shovel it, and it's like, fuck this. You know?
The shoveling and then the slush.
I'd rather get a sunburn I'd rather get a sunburn than have to live in snow.
Well, you get sunburns in the snow.
What?
Yeah, dude. It reflects off the bottom, like off the snow, and then you're getting sunlight from the top and the bottom. That's why you have to wear like face protection, like sunscreen when you go snowboarding and shit.
You're making me hate snow even more right now.
Dude, it sucks. I got sunburned on my face snowboarding.
Sounds
like
terrible.
Yeah, it sucks. I had sunglasses on, so it was like a raccoon face kind of look.
Right.
It sucks, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Snowmobiling is fun though.
I've never been snowmobiling.
It was pretty cool. I did it one time.
I tried to go snowboard. Well, I've been sledding, but I tried to go snowboarding one time, and that ended really badly. So, and it ended really quickly. I didn't know how to do it.
Oh yeah, you gotta take a lesson, dude. You gotta have somebody teach you.
I didn't have nobody teach me. I just tried it, and I fucking failed. So
it's hard, dude. It's really hard.
Yeah,
I've been like 5 or 6 times, and I suck really bad.
Snowboarding?
Yeah, I never got good at it. I still suck, and I still want to go back.
But it looks so easy on camera.
Does,
you know,
like, it looks so easy.
It looks so simple. Like you see people doing it online and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, I can fucking do that. It looks easy. But then the second you get on the snow and your board just like sinks, and you're like, well, fuck. I guess this isn't easy, man.
Yeah, and then you just like, big face plant like 5 times in a row.
Yeah,
what am I doing wrong?
I mean, sledding is cool, but like, I don't know, dude. I don't snow in the cold.
It's not worth it.
It sucks. And it's terrible.
I love sledding.
Huh?
I love sledding.
Sledding is fun. Sledding is a lot of fun.
It's just not worth it. Not worth the pain in the ass. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it. People who move to Alaska, just like, oh, I got to get away from here. It's like, that's really far.
Yeah, but you're sacrificing one thing. You're sacrificing being around people to be around nature, yes, but nature's a fucking asshole sometimes, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always an asshole.
Yeah.
Nature is never not an asshole.
That's a good point.
I mean, let's say fruit. Fruit is the only way it's not.
I mean, it still could be pretty shitty because it's poisonous fruit.
I guess, but
yeah.
I mean, technically fruit is like it's meant to be eaten so that you transfer the seeds elsewhere and it like propagates elsewhere. So like fruit is the only thing I could think of where it's like not nature's not being a dick. It's like, you know, here's nutritious like stuff. You know,
it's ironic too because we're talking about how much of a dick nature can be, but like half of the most of the songs from Shores of Ithaka are all about like nature and space and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, that's cool.
And using the term beauty and majestic and all this kind of stuff, and yet here we are talking about how much it sucks.
It does though. Like that's part of it though. Like the brutality of it is part of like the beauty. Like it doesn't give a shit. It doesn't care. Like,
and when it wants its land back, it will take it back at the whim, at the snap of a finger. When Mother Earth wants her planet back, we're all just fucking gonna be wiped off the face of the earth.
I'm just waiting for another one of those pieces to hit the Earth.
Another one?
I mean, we still cross the fucking meteor stream, the Torrid meteor stream every 2 years, or like twice a year. We cross through that stream twice a year. All we need is like a few more rocks to just come swinging through right when the Earth does.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we're safe. Like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, no, Earth is gonna get hit again at some point.
I think, yeah.
It's a numbers game, man. At some point, it will.
We live in a fucking...
It's too many things in space.
Shooting range. At some point in time, it's just gonna come down and bam, and that's it. We're done.
I mean, it could be in like 4,000 years.
Or it could be tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean... Like, I guess that's just the gamble of life at that point in time. You know, it's you know, nature and everything is cruel. You know, if it's like I said, when Mother Earth wants her planet back, she's gonna take it back.
The crazy thing about like the difference between what happens on the surface of Earth, and then what happens like outside the atmosphere in space, like the vastness of like the difference is so crazy big. Like our perception of time doesn't even
exist. It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter at all.
Right. Like that's this is an interesting topic, and you're pulling me into the rabbit hole that I obsess about all the time.
I can't stop thinking about this shit sometimes.
Well, it's true though, because like I think that people are, you know, they think they know everything when in reality they don't know jack shit. You know, it's like, you know, it's fucking space and time and all this kind of stuff. They're completely its own entity. Like everything that we do here on planet Earth, like it doesn't matter. Nothing,
not even close.
It doesn't. It holds no meaning, no nothing to compared to like what is actually out there in, you know, the vastness of space. And you know, a lot of people will, you know, say that they want to know the meaning of life and they want to know, you know, like what our purpose is here. And it's like there is no purpose.
Yeah, I mean, you can think about that all you want. But then, like, the other day I read an article about how NASA found a rogue black hole. It's not orbiting anything. It's just flying through space in a straight line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sick.
Yeah, what happens if one of those flies through our solar system? Like, we're dead. We're all dead. The Earth is like specks of dust.
How long wasn't it like, I think it was like, I think it was like... black hole that's like 1/10 of the size of the sun can swallow the entirety of our sun in like 2 days or something like that. It's fucking crazy, dude.
And they just recently found a black hole that's 100 billion times the mass of the sun.
That sounds
horrible. Defies their previous theories of how big black holes can be.
I have a
like, what the fuck, dude? We keep finding shit that's just insane. Like, why are we squabbling about, like, you know, just the stupid bullshit you see in the media? I don't even want to bring it up. I'd rather talk about space. That's true.
Well, that's true. Like I said, you know, there's a lot of people in the world that think that, you know, they're the meaning of why they're here and the meaning of, you know, that you know, their life has like a purpose, which I'm not saying that it doesn't. Everybody has a purpose. They should find their own purpose, but the reality of everything is that there is no purpose.
I mean, your purpose is man-made.
Yeah.
Like
it's just like time.
So
just
anything
like time,
you consider your purpose is you've created it.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. Like, you determine what your purpose is. Right. Honestly.
Right.
So like, it's man-made. So
That's
it's true. Like, I don't know, like anything beyond the Earth is kind of hard to imagine that we can affect it at all.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I mean, I don't think that we'll ever be able to, affect it. I don't think that.
Just wait until we see an asteroid coming at the Earth. Do you think they would tell us?
Who's they? The government?
NASA. Yeah.
NASA?
Because they're the ones with the asteroid spotting program.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say no. I think they wouldn't tell us just because, because what's going to happen if you make an announcement be like, oh yeah, in 2 weeks' time, this asteroid's going to hit planet Earth and wipe everything out. Like, what's going to happen? Just fucking chaos. People are going to be like,
it's going to skim the North Pole.
Yeah, people are going to do everything that they wanted to do in their entire lifetime in 2 weeks. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I think they wouldn't tell us, but I'm also curious to, I want to know what that looks like. Because you ever seen those, oh my God, I can't remember there's like it's like these CGI videos that you can find on YouTube of like what it would look like if like the moon was gonna crash into
like those
Earth.
video simulations.
Yeah,
Or
dude.
like, what if Saturn was the distance from the moon?
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that. Yeah,
dude, I go down like there's so many times, like especially it's like at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. I go down the rabbit hole watching those videos to where I just want to see like what it looks like or what it would look like if like you said, like if Saturn was closer to us than the moon, or if the moon was gonna crash into planet Earth, or if planet Earth was gonna like implode on itself, like what would it look like from our perspective? And I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually true or not, but it looks fucking crazy.
I want to see an asteroid impact the moon, like make a crater. We still have no video of that.
So, and also too, like, because when it comes to space and time, and when it comes to like how we perceive time and how space time actually is, I don't know if it's possible for us to actually perceive something like that, because time is so.
The moon is close though.
Yeah, but but time and space is like super convoluted, and it's not convoluted.
Dude,
is not the right word.
If an asteroid hits the moon or something impacts the moon, it makes a crater. You could see that shit with binoculars.
Yeah,
like there's people. I've seen somebody have a camera on a tripod.
Yeah.
He set it up and like he zoomed in. The freaking lens on this camera was like a foot long. It was huge.
Yeah.
And so he was zooming in on the moon, and you could see the shadows shifting as the
Interesting.
the moon was moving.
Yeah.
So it's like you can catch shadows changing on the moon. You could definitely catch an impact on the moon.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I would.
I think recently there was a Japanese astronomer that got like a video of something hitting the moon, but it's so small, like it's like a poof of dust, and like it's hard to prove what it was. It's probably just a rock.
Have you seen those videos of like the small? I don't know if they're asteroids, if they're comets or what, but like the smaller ones back in. Whenever, like I don't know the specific time, but like like a certain asteroid or comet or whatever, like coming through our atmosphere and like crashing into like Earth, but they're like the smaller ones. I can't remember what it was called. It was fuck, I don't know if I remember what it was called, but there was something that happened in like Siberia, and there was like
it was like the Tunguska.
No, I'm sorry, not
incident or something like that.
Not
right?
Siberia. There was the Tunguska one was one of them, but that was like early 1900s, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like 1910 or some shit like that.
There was another incident to where I'll have to show you the video. Remind me after this podcast to show you the video, but like it's like a legit like asteroid like coming through the atmosphere and basically crashing. I think it was in Russia. So, but it wasn't like a wide scale asteroid. It was just something very small.
Yeah.
But you could see it. Like you could see it coming through the fucking, which is crazy because it just leaves. Yeah, it leaves
it's
behind
bright.
like this. It's bright, and then it leaves behind like this trail of fucking flame or fire or whatever. And it's just watching something like that. It just like completely blows my mind. I'm like, what the fuck? If one of those were to hit, like if one of those like that was much bigger were to hit, fucking miles and miles away,
downtown
like,
Phoenix.
Yeah, we're all fucked, dude. Like it's just gonna wipe us all out, like so quickly, like so easy. It's like
what if one just like takes out a skyscraper in downtown?
Yeah, and it's like, and then the shockwave is just gonna annihilate all of Arizona.
The shockwave will break all the glass in 20 miles.
Yeah. It's like it reminds me of like when you find an ant in your kitchen and you're just like, I'm gonna fucking step on you, or find like a cockroach or something in your bedroom and you're gonna smash it with a shoe. You're just like so quick and so easy. You're like, well, we're the cockroaches and the asteroid is the shoe. It's just like, bam, done.
Yeah.
See ya, bye humanity.
Yeah, except it's more fiery. Explosive.
More explosive. I don't know if our brains would be able to actually perceive what was going on, because it'd just be so quick, and so our brains would just be like,
honestly, like
we'd all just disassociate and be like, well, we're gonna make the best out of this, even though we're all gonna die in like 30 seconds.
I think the biggest issue with any sort of like like any impact like that, is Yellowstone. It's gonna get shaken up a little bit.
Yellowstone. Oh,
the super volcano under the United States. It's like fucking 200 miles in diameter.
I forget that that's even a thing.
Dude, it's definitely a thing.
Isn't that crazy though? How
we're just on a bomb,
right?
Like the whole United States, dude.
Just we're sitting on a ticking time bomb, and like everybody just forgets about it. Like, I mean, that's proof right there. I totally forgot that was even a thing, man.
Yeah, dude. If an asteroid hits or some piece of a comet hits, like it's gonna get shaken up a little bit,
right?
And then, that's gonna be a problem.
All of the United States is gonna become a crater.
At least like the northwest corner.
That's nuts.
Like Wyoming and Montana, like around there.
Yeah. The places where there's not a lot of people. Fuck, man.
Oh, no, there'll be 0 people then.
Yeah,
But-
good point.
I think Kanye's up there, right? Wyoming?
Kanye?
That's where his mansion is.
Like Kanye West?
Yeah, he's got a ranch up there.
What?
He lives in Wyoming.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, a bunch of rich people bought a whole bunch of ranches in Wyoming.
I completely forgot that guy even existed.
Yeah. I don't know. He pops in my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
He's the greatest, you know? He achieves so much.
Well, he thinks he's the greatest. That's for sure. I'm not going to speculate on how good or how bad that guy is because I am in no place to judge that man. He's got a lot more money than me and a lot more records out than me. So
a lot more issues.
And I mean, but he's definitely doing a lot better than I am. That's for sure when it comes to living. But in my opinion, okay, dude, you know.
Hey, I wish I had a ranch in Wyoming.
Fuck, dude, me too.
That'd be cool.
I guess that's where like a lot of the artists that everybody hates and stuff like that, like Nickelback. Nickelback is the greatest example of that. You know, everybody hates Well, I mean, most people that I know talk shit about Nickelback.
Yeah,
but those guys are rich as fuck, and they probably don't care.
I think they used like a formula. You know,
what do you mean? Formula.
To write catchy rock music.
Yeah.
All their songs are catchy as fuck, man.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's like, yeah, of course. Everybody who listens to the radio is like, oh, I like this song.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. This is catchy. Reminds me of
I remember this.
Yeah. I mean, let's be realistic here. You know, if you're hanging out with your friends and you're drinking and you're really drunk, I mean,
yeah, they're easy to sing.
Yeah. I mean, like again, another thing that I might put my foot in my mouth for saying this, but you know, like if I'm at a party or hanging out, I think the last thing I want to listen to is like fucking Opeth or something like that. You know, super technical, super proggy, super all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's not what I listen to around people.
Yeah, it's like,
you know, that by myself usually.
Yeah, I want to listen to something, you know, fun and catchy, and you know, something that you're gonna have a good time with. And usually bands like that tend to hit that mark.
I'll just put on funk.
Funk, yeah, funk is sick.
Just put on a funk playlist.
Yeah,
I can't name any specific artists off the top of my head, but
dude, I put on like if I'm really drunk, like I well, a lot of my friends know this already, but I usually put on like country music.
Country, yeah.
And I mean like the cringiest of country music, dude.
Yeah,
like the fucking the George Straits and the Toby Keiths and stuff like that.
I like the old stuff.
Yeah, me too.
That was like recorded on a single microphone, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the real soulful. Well, that stuff
you can hear the crackly vinyl from what they pulled the audio off of.
Yeah, that's like the really soulful stuff.
It's good.
I still really enjoy that kind of stuff. There's a lot of modern people that are doing
anything
that same thing.
Like catchy rock, just with a country accent. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
You'll have to describe it.
I don't know.
What that is.
Like, it's just like rock music with a country accent and like a twanging guitar.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
bullshit. Like all the party country bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking hate it, man. It's horrible.
I don't know. I can't recall if I've like listened to. I mean, there's like Garth Brooks, for example. He's got like some. I think he's kind of known for doing like some of like the rock and roll style in his music, but it's like it's badass. Like it's like Rodeo is a great example of that. You know, you listen to Rodeo and it's fucking. You know, I mean, it's the simplest lyrics you'd ever hear in your life, but for some reason it's just catchy and it's fun. But I don't like. That's the only thing I can think of when it comes to the rock combination with country music.
Yeah, maybe it's just not my style.
Yeah, I mean. I particularly won't listen to country music if I'm like, you know, just let's say I'm at work wanting to listening to something that, you know, is immersive that I can like just zone my mind into. The last thing I'm listening to is fucking country music.
Yeah, I usually put on like something without lyrics.
Yeah.
I put on some instrumental or like EDM or something.
EDM, is that like electronic music?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Electronic dance music.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't dance, I just work. But.
That's pretty cool actually, because you listen. I feel like we've already talked about this in the last podcast, but you listen to like synthwave at all?
Synthwave, like retro synthwave, is like pretty slow. Like I like how it sounds, and I like the lo-fi kind of beat to it, and like how they do like the tape distortion on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
like, some of that stuff sounds really cool. I like the effects.
Yeah.
I'll listen to that like playing video games, like Minecraft or something.
Dude, fucking, because there's some synthwave artists that are pretty like upbeat, like Carpenter Root, for example. You know, he's got like his most popular song is Turbo Killer, and it's just like ban it. Yeah, it's like really upbeat and like kind of gets you going, you know. But it's all instrumental, but it's like super synthy instrumental
like
stuff.
Rock.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like if rock. I mean, I always thought about like it'd be really cool to like take a song like that and like change like the synths to like heavy guitar and like
do
drums.
a cover.
Yeah, I think
do a cover. Like I'm sure the artist would be like, "Whoa,
what the fuck, dude?"
dude?
Well, and sometimes if you listen to like his like the latest album that I don't remember what it was called, but like the latest album he put out, like there's no way that guy does not listen to like heavy music at all, because there's some of that stuff that comes in that just like, okay, this guy was obviously listening to something really fucking heavy when he wrote this, because it's like really heavy synth and really like heavy drums, and it's like groovy and everything.
Yeah,
so.
I love like finding that in like a genre of music. You find an artist that obviously is using another type of music in their like writing.
Yeah,
like what comes to mind is Ewan Dobson.
Never heard of
Ewan
that.
Dobson from he's a Canadian guitarist. He just plays acoustic guitar just solo, but he does like finger picking, and he's like super fast, and his style is really like plucky. Like everything he does is like plucking. So it's like almost like pizzicato kind of sounding.
That's cool. It's kind of like
it's fast. It's like he's really fast, and he does like a lot of. It almost sounds like video game music, kind of like 8-bit music sometimes. But he'll do a lot of songs that are like obviously like metal.
Yeah,
like just metal on acoustic guitar, and he does strumming like dun 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 dun, like you know, like these chuggy riffs, and then he'll go back into plucking really light, like super fast, and I don't know, it's pretty cool, but he's obviously got like metal influences on an acoustic.
It's like Tommy Emmanuel's another good example of that. I think it's he might you know who he is, dude. That guy's guitar playing like hurts my brain. I just like
he's like on that level.
Yeah,
like Ewan Dobson, Tommy Emmanuel, Don Ross.
I haven't heard of him.
Don Ross is another just badass motherfucker. Like he looks like Hagrid. He's just this big dude with like curly hair and a beard.
Yeah, kind of like you.
Yeah,
you look like Hagrid. You look like a young Hagrid.
A young Hagrid.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
A more buff
I'll
Hagrid.
Take it. His pet dragons and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Play with giant spiders.
Yeah, I mean, I like Tommy Emmanuel was dude. That guy's guitar playing, I didn't think like there's so many notes happening on one instrument. Like I feel like the guy's gonna run out of notes, but he never does. He just keeps going and going and going. It's like, fuck, man. Like
that's
how
that's telling a story.
Yeah,
but he's using one instrument.
Doing
like, fucking nuts,
crazy stuff, dude. It's like, I mean, you see like tech death bands and everything, like a whole band's playing like 1,000,000 notes a minute, which is cool. But then you have this one guy just sitting there, not even singing. He just sits there with an acoustic guitar and plays like 3 different progressions on one guitar. And it's like, wow, I suck. You know, like makes me feel like, fuck, dude. You know, this guy's insanely good. And
I went down a rabbit hole of just watching like solo acoustic guitar players.
Yeah.
Like search that on YouTube.
Yeah,
you won't want to play guitar anymore. Like these guys make you want to stop playing. Like,
yeah,
I'll never be like that.
It's like those. It's like those Instagram guitar players. Some of those guys that like, especially the ones that are like obviously speeding up their videos. You know, you see it, and you're just like, holy
Dragon Force.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a
those motherfuckers.
I don't even know if it's true or not, because like, dude, those guys are still pretty fucking good, man. Like
you have to be to sound like that.
Yeah,
but I mean, do you speed up your recordings or do you play?
I mean,
do you publish what you play live? Like,
yeah.
What do you?
I haven't seen them live, so I can't make that judgment. But I really want to. I actually surprisingly, I really enjoy their music.
I mean, some of the riffs are really cool.
Yeah,
I'm not super into power metal though. It's
really?
kind of too it's too upbeat and like almost like adventure-y, like, you know.
That's
like I don't know. I can't get into it. Like the major scales kind of drive me.
Yeah, I mean
turn me off to it.
The modern power metal stuff is it's.
I like the thrashier, like harder, like more dark kind of sounding, like Skeleton Witch.
Yeah,
you know, like dark,
awesome.
Heavy, like speed thrash metal. That kind of stuff is cool. But once you start getting into like the tweedly deedly guitar solos and stuff, and like the higher clean lyrics and or like the higher clean vocals. Like I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Power metal bands that are like the dragons are coming in the sky.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's. I mean, there's a lot of bands that are doing that. There's some that are pretty fucking creative about it though. I'm very guilty of going down that rabbit hole with all the power metal stuff. I love that shit, man. It's like. I don't know why, but like just something about like lyrics that are just completely like fictional fantasy with like lots of orchestration and like super upbeat stuff. I think it comes from the same realm as like what we were talking about earlier, like, you know, like Nickelback and stuff like that. It's just fun music. So, because I mean, for example, one of the bands that like I've been obsessed with and is Windrose. Have you listened to Windrose?
I've heard of them.
So that band is like. You know, I actually had like had a kind of like a premonition about this recently. Is those guys go on stage dressed like dwarves? Exactly.
You know, I think I saw a video of them recently on Facebook. They're like promoting a video right now for a tour or something. But yeah, the guy's just decked out in like this huge leather cloak.
Yeah,
like
it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
and I was thinking about it recently.
Dangerous. He's gonna heat stroke,
dude. Probably.
Stage.
And like I was thinking about this recently because like there was a lot of like, for example, especially in like when I was younger, like the whole like hardcore scene, like people I don't even know what they call it, but like it looks like they're dancing or like throwing their arms around or stuff like that, you know. I would always see that and I'd be like, you know, in my younger years I'd be like, wow, what the fuck, like that just stupid, like whatever, you know. And then I was thinking about it the other night, and then this was recently, and I was like, I don't get it, I don't understand why those guys, like, you know, or when I was younger I never understood it. And then here comes actually I was listening to I wasn't listening to Windrose, I was watching a live video of this like band called Eternal Champion. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
So their singer like walks out on stage like during one of their last songs, and he's got a sword in his hand, and he's got like a chainmail helmet on. He didn't have that on before, but he walked out with that on, and he's just like fucking like pointing at the crowd, like, you know, trying to be Mr. Warrior. Jeez. And most people are like, oh, this is this grown ass man walking out on stage with a sword and like chainmail, like nerd. You know, that's like, you'd think that'd be the normal reaction, but that wasn't my reaction. My reaction was like, what the fuck? That's so sick, you know, like the dude's walking around with a sword, like, fuck yeah, it is badass. And then I was like, I kind of thought about it, and I was like, oh, I get it now. Because, you know, like, stuff that, like, you know, that other stuff would look ridiculous to me, but, like, here I am watching, you know, a grown man walk around on stage with a sword, and Windrose is the same thing. It's like, here I am listening to a band with grown men who walk around on stage fucking in dwarf costume.
Right.
You know, so it's I guess it's just like the scene for it. It's just fun music too, you know. There's a lot of bands. There are some bands that get ridiculous, and I mean like where it's almost like an act on stage at that point in time. You're watching a play.
Yeah, I've seen Power Glove.
Power Glove is I've
seen Steel Panther.
Yeah,
Steel Panther, they put on a fucking show, dude. I saw them at like a U-Fest concert.
Yeah,
it's like a local metal tour concert. They have all the main headliners there. I think the headliner was Chevelle, and the band right before them was All That Remains.
Okay,
and then it was kind of funny. Like when All That Remains played, everyone rushed the stage, and it was great. Everyone loved it.
Yeah,
and then like. As soon as they were done, they're like, all right, Chevelle's coming on next. Like, nobody cheered, and everybody left. Dude, more than half the people were walking out when Chevelle was setting up. Like,
That's
it was
awesome.
Bad, dude. Nobody gave a fuck about Chevelle. Like, they just came to see All That Remains.
That's badass.
They were the heaviest band by far.
Dude,
But when I saw Steel Panther, like, right before they came on, like, somebody came up, like, some stagehand-looking dude. He's like, hey, Steel Panther's late. We can't find them. We don't know where they are. You just have to hold tight. We're going to give them another 15, 20 minutes, and we'll cut it back to you guys. And then he starts looking up, like, what is that? What is that? It's like, there's just a plane, and like 4 people jump out, and they start skydiving, like with those parachutes, you know? They start parachuting in, doing all these flips and tricks and shit. And they like, they have smoke trails, like different colored smoke trails, and they're doing backflips and like all these corkscrews, and they land behind the stage, and then Steel Panther comes out. They're like, hey, what's up? Sorry we're late.
What the fuck?
It was so stupid, dude. But it was like, it was real. Like, people skydived into the fucking venue.
That's amazing.
It was crazy, but that's what Steel Panther is, like the hair metal, like over the top hair metal band. But it was good, dude.
Dude, Steel Panther is fucking. I don't like. I mean, obviously, that's a band that I really appreciate because, like, it's completely obvious. Like, they don't want to be taken seriously.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, going into it, it's like, just if you're going to listen to our music, just know, you know, it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, they have a song called Gangbang at the Old Folks Home.
Yeah,
like,
you know, and that's, I can appreciate that. It's like, you know, it's just, if you go into that band thinking that you're going to listen to an album that you're going to, like, just really, like, this touches my soul, bro. Like, you're listening to the wrong band.
Oh yeah, this is not the right band for you.
Yeah,
no, it's pretty raunchy. Like,
I fucking love Steel Panther, dude. I honestly, like, I get down. I love, like, hair metal. You know, just the old, like, 80s, like, hair metal stuff. I've always loved that stuff, like the Skid Row, Motley Crue, Cinderella, Poison, everything. You know, I fucking love that stuff, man. And it's like same thing. It's like it's just fun music, you know. It's fun music.
I'm not into it.
Specifically, Skid Row.
Can't do hair metal.
Yeah, I mean, and I do understand why people don't like it too. You know, I think that it's especially to people who are like more serious metalheads. You know, they don't want to listen to something that, you know, is as fun and as poppy as that, but it, you know, it's just fun music. That's all it is. There's nothing really to it, you know. There's nothing special about it. But that's what's popular, you know. Like, there's a lot of music, you know, that is super popular, that's like hitting charts. It's just fun music, you know. That's why people like it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could call it fun.
Yeah,
I could see it's like easy listening.
Yeah,
you know, that's what it is to me. Like, yeah, I get it. It's easy to listen to. Like, I don't know. It doesn't like capture my interest though. You know, like, I'm not trying to figure this song out. I'm not trying to, like, you know, this doesn't sound interesting. Like, he's playing the guitar chords and it's like, you know, like a fucking.
It's definitely not interesting. That is for sure.
Like,
it's
a Kiss song,
right?
You know, like it's just, I know what the next note's gonna be before you play it.
Oh, dude.
You know, it's like, even if I've never heard a Kiss song before, they could play the riff once, and I'm like, I know how the song goes.
Yeah. And it's something like that the
like,
entire time.
Like, I get why people like it, but I need more. When I'm listening to music, like, I might as well have an interesting, like, song to listen to. There's thousands of them out there. Why would I listen to the one that, like, bores the shit out of me? You know?
Yeah. I mean, do you listen to, like the more, like, symphonic, like, epic stuff? Like, I guess the more, like, Winter Sun and Brimir and stuff like that?
I've never heard of those.
I would check it out. You might
symphonic,
like that a lot.
You said?
It's very symphonic. I mean, like, very, very symphonic.
Symphonic is, I don't know. I haven't heard a lot of symphonic metal bands that I like.
Okay.
But I mean, I've heard a couple songs that sound cool.
Yeah.
So I might check it out.
Those are always really intense, where it's like 1,000 things going on at once for like 15 minutes, and you're just like, wow, what is happening? You know?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, a band that I do like that does that is Flesh God Apocalypse.
Oh, dude.
That band is...
I finally got to see them
They're more
live.
like opera.
Yeah.
But damn, they are fucking good.
Dude, they're
like,
awesome.
They're excellent musicians.
Yeah,
like,
dude, they are
Jesus.
amazing. Like, those guys are so skilled. It's like, it's ridiculous. And I finally got to see them live. It was that last time they came through was with them, Obscura, Wolfheart, and Thulkandra. And I'd never seen them before. I love Flesh God, don't get me wrong, but I've never seen Flesh God. And watching that live, I was just like, dude, these guys are fucking insane.
Like face melting.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, holy fucking shit.
And like,
the energy of those dudes.
Oh, dude. Like, purely my opinion. Like, obviously, you know, it's just an opinion, but like, Obscura played right before them. And don't get me wrong, I love Obscura. Like, super tech. They're like one of like I don't even know if they're like original, like, tech death kind of band.
Right.
And but they're like super technical, super all that kind of stuff. And dude, they just had no chance against fucking Flesh God, bro. The second Flesh God got on stage, it was like, wow, this is insane.
Yeah, they just, I don't know, they just explode.
Yeah.
I just love the style, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I recently did some work on a high school gym, and I put in like 20 speakers in this huge gym. It has like a wood floor and everything. Yeah. And I was like, I gotta see how this sounds. I turned on Flesh God Apocalypse. Like,
nice.
I turned on the Violation.
Yeah.
It's just like, it starts out with like, you know, some violins, and then it just explodes. Yeah.
Dude, definitely
Yeah,
love that
and
song.
it just exploded the whole gym. Like, oh shit, better turn this off. It's like turn it down.
Nobody. I mean, like that's
It was on spring break. No, there wasn't a lot of people in the school, but
that's one of those genres. I think that like people who don't understand like the genre of death metal would hear that and just be like, "This is just noise."
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? Because there's so much going on at once, you know. But it's
yeah,
like,
that's true. But like, if you know what the lead is, and like if you know enough about the music and like what they're trying to do with it,
yeah,
and you know what you're listening for, like they obviously push the strings. So if you concentrate on the strings, you'll figure it out eventually.
yeah,
Like it's the strings that they're really pushing. They're trying to make it like an opera. It's strings and vocals. Everything else is to fill in the fucking gaps and make it huge.
Yeah.
Like so like that's pretty much just like the higher frequencies. They're leading the fucking noise, the wave
dude.
of chaos.
it's
like
it's chaotically beautiful. That's what I describe
Yeah,
it.
dude, I love
Chaotically
that band.
I do too, man. That's a good that is a really good example. You might like Winter Sun. Then Winter Sun is, well, they're a little bit more like, I guess, video gamey in a way, but they're the same thing, like very 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 symphonic, very fast blast beats, very, you know, just a million things at once just given to you like straight out the gate. And their Brimir is another good example of that. So, but I don't think that Flesh God is one of those bands that like I mean, I could be wrong, it could be, but I don't think anybody sounds like them. You know, like there's certain bands I think that just nobody sounds like.
Yeah,
you know,
I can't find a comparison for them. Really.
I can't think of one either. You know?
I literally just call it Italian opera metal.
Yeah.
And people are like, they just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I guess it's
like, I don't know. They're all Italian and they play opera and metal. Like,
yeah.
I don't.
And it's fucking awesome.
The vocals are crazy. The fucking pianist is crazy. Like, they're all fucking nuts.
It would be a dream come true to have that dude do like a score for like a metal song that I was a part of, because like that dude's scoring is incredible, and I mean like absolutely incredible.
He's a genius.
Yeah,
he's fucking crazy.
He has to be like classically trained, you know.
It has to be.
Going on stage with like a fucking classical piano, just sitting there like a metal
He
show.
absolutely is. He does like a solo at every show. He does like a classical solo, like
Yeah.
On every album, they have a classical piano solo.
Yeah.
Every single album has one.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're fucking awesome, dude. When I saw them, they came out like in tuxedos, and they're like in tuxedos with red bow ties, and they're all zombie like face paint. They all look like zombies in tuxedos.
It was the same thing
So
when we saw.
fucking sweet.
It was the exact same thing. It
Yeah,
was
they
like,
do the undead look for their face paint.
It was
fucking cool.
They were, yeah, I was quite blown away, honestly, by how like, in the consistency too, was the consistency of that band was like, you know, they sound like on the record, they sound like live, and that's like something that I really like I can appreciate in a band. Is
if you can do a recording like that and then make it sound that way live, like holy shit, dude.
Yeah,
like because they put a lot of sound into that recording.
I mean, of course there's like backtracks and stuff like that, but still, you know,
but they can play with it.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
That's what I mean. Like, they don't fall behind.
Yeah, they keep up. And everybody else is like, all the riffs, everything is, I mean, it's right on point, man. And that's...
I'm pretty sure the pianist is running the backing tracks, too, though.
Probably. And he's probably playing a lot of it, too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. And, like, that's one thing that, like, I always appreciate in bands is when they can take the sound of, like, what they've, you know, done in the studio and reproduce it live, because nothing's more of like a buzzkill, at least in my opinion, than a band that has like this awesome sound like in the studio and they go on stage and they sound nothing like that.
Oh, Dragon Force?
Probably. I've never seen them live, so I don't know. But
I imagine they don't sound like their album, but that's
maybe.
I've never seen them live either.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm definitely guilty of that in the past too, of, you know, like, you know, of bands not sounding the same way in the studio live, but you know, it's like, you know, it's like effort too, you know, putting effort into your live show, you know, making it sound good, you know, making it sound good and honest, and you know, not cutting corners. I guess.
I mean, I don't mind backing tracks if like they're on the album.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
You know,
you'd want to replicate that live.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
are you just adding random ass backing tracks to like try to make yourself sound more, more produced or whatever, and like you're not putting it on this recording or vice versa. You're putting these backing tracks on the recording, but you're not playing them during the live show.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing? Like, play the song as you intended it to be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
There are certain things. I mean, like, and you'd want to put that live. As long as like you have like your the way the song is constructed and everything, and then you have all like the layers on top of that. It's like Born of Ash is like a good example of that. Like, there's so many fucking layers, and that music is ridiculous. Like, it's like, and I'm not like tooting our own horn because that's not the case at all. Like, I'm just saying, like, because I've like been recording all the material for us, so like, and there's just so many layers, and we put all those layers on a backtrack and make sure that it's there live, so, and there's a lot of bands that are out there now that just make like that. I mean, just make like Born of Ash look like fucking toddlers, dude. It's like there's so much going on, and it's like, and they like Flesh God's a great example of that. They sound like that live. They sound like seasoned, skilled musicians. So they sound.
Dude, there's people who've like been playing guitar since they were like 8 years old, and they go into make metal bands.
Yeah.
Like,
and
that's who you're competing against.
They're super talented people, super skilled people.
I have a feeling that happens more often in Europe than America. So
yeah,
just saying.
I don't think that like, because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. To tell you the honest truth, I don't really pay attention. Like, especially now, I'm like really bad about paying attention to like music scenes and everything. But I don't think that like there's really a scene for stuff like that here in the United States. I mean, there's bands, of course.
For what specifically?
Like the symphonic stuff, and then like Melodeath is another good example of that. Like Melodeath and I guess those are the only two. And like the whole like the melodic death doom stuff. I can't really think of any bands that are like a part of like a scene here. And I could just be completely uninformed, which is probably the case, but it just seems as though that there's not like really much of that in this stage. I wish there was, but
well, I'm just kind of thinking about like the entertainment industry, the difference between it, if you see a movie from like, Europe, whether it be like Eastern or Western Europe even, it's going to be more dramatic and more about the story and more intense. And you see a movie from like America or any sort of entertainment from America, it's going to be like fast, violent, fucking action.
Like John Wick.
Dude. Like, yeah, fucking John Wick.
I love that movie though, dude.
Killing people left and right.
Yeah, it's like how many people
I still need to see it.
You haven't seen it?
I still haven't seen it, man.
Dude.
I feel like an asshole for not watching it.
I wouldn't consider you an asshole, but like the truth of the matter is I can tell you exactly what the movie is in 3 seconds.
I know. Like everybody has their summary of the movie. Sure.
It's just how many people can Keanu Reeves kill in one film.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. I mean, literally, it's like and it's basically like an hour and a half of Keanu Reeves kill count. It's fucking awesome.
4 times.
Yeah. And that kill count gets higher and higher and higher each time.
Do they have a kill count?
Huh? I mean, I'm sure there's a video somewhere where there's an actual like kill count, but like it just seems like, I mean, there's a story behind it, but I mean, let's be honest here. I think
they didn't write it for the story.
Yeah, they wrote it for let's see.
They wrote it because Keanu Reeves looks really good when he's killing people.
Exactly, he's a badass, and it's like let's just let him go around and fucking murder people. I think because in the second film there was a scene like I was just watching it and I was like, what the fuck, like. They got so creative with the kill. Like one of them was like he fucking he like was like fucking stabbing people like in the head with a fucking pencil, and it was like, okay,
yeah,
I guess we're using the pencil now to kill people. What
I saw a scene where they showed a scene on Joe Rogan where he kills this dude with a book.
Yeah,
just kills him with a book. Jesus Christ!
Out of all the things you can use, he's just like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna kill this guy with a fucking book.
Just
or
reminds
a pencil.
me of like the old Jackie Chan movies.
Yeah,
he would like use the whole room as a weapon.
Yeah,
but like he didn't kill anybody.
Let's see how many. let's see how long it takes you to get your ass whooped by Jackie Chan. Basically, like
half
the film.
A second.
Yeah,
like each guy is another half second. That adds up to a lot of seconds.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that though. Like some of the cinema and music in the States. And again, I don't want to like say it just to, I don't want to say something that I'm going to end up putting my foot in my mouth for the third time, but it's seen but it's also, I don't want to say one's like more creative than the other. I just think that different minds like different things. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, well, like in like the EDM scene and like DJs and stuff, they in Europe it's a totally different scene.
Really?
Just here. Yeah, I had a DJ on. It was like episode 8 or something. Melodic. He's from here, from Phoenix. And he does a lot of like really hard style and hardcore EDM.
Yeah.
And he uses like there's a couple songs where he uses like some death metal samples and stuff. Like he came from a metal band. Like that was his that was his introduction to music. Was he was in a metal band and everything, like death metal in Phoenix. I forgot the band he was in. He told me on the podcast. I totally forgot it. They're not around anymore.
Yeah.
But he moved on to being a DJ in like hardcore, because you can get like really heavy, like and really dark, in that kind of scene. And he even has a song where he uses like a bunch of Daedra samples from like Oblivion.
That's badass.
Dude, it sounds so cool. I
fucking love that game.
It sounds so fucking cool. It's either from Oblivion or Skyrim. I forget.
I think the Daedra samples are all the same all throughout. Like,
well, no,
Skyrim.
it was like one of the Daedra lords. I think it was the female one. I forget her name. The really evil one.
I don't remember.
She's just a cunt. Her whole dialogue, yeah. But it's like her talking, and then like it uses like, the Daedra like sounds and stuff.
That's
badass. Dude, it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But he was talking about how like he went into McDonald's in Europe when he was on tour. He went into a McDonald's and they were playing like hardcore over the speakers. It's just like, what the fuck? Like they would never play EDM at a McDonald's in the States. Like, Jesus Christ.
That's actually
awesome. Like that's like the popular music over there. It was like the faster, heavier EDM, and like here, the EDM here is like dubstep or like euphoric hard, like happy hardcore, like euphoric kind of hard style where it's like all upbeat, like believe in yourself, like yay.
No, fuck you.
Like no, in Europe it's like get fucked.
Yeah,
like it's like just totally fucked up like music. It's way better.
Get fucked.
I guess in metal it's like the opposite, huh? In Europe it's like more clean and kind of like.
I don't know.
Maybe it's darker though.
It's definitely more. There's a lot of very, very, very sorrowful bands out there. It's that can be the darkest music though. It doesn't matter how heavy, how brutal, how fast it is. When you start getting like real, that's the kind of stuff that I really get into too. Is like the really slow, like very pretty, very like sorrowful kind of like more tragic sounding stuff. I think it's like more. I think that's the right word. Is like it's very tragic sounding, and there's no happy ending in it. It's just dark. It's very dark,
and sad stories.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
For some reason, like I'm drawn to that shit too.
Yeah, dude. It's
there's something about it, like the like hopelessness. It's just like fuck.
Well, yeah, I mean, it feels more relatable than at least in my opinion.
Nowadays, fuck.
Yeah. That's a whole nother subject, but like and it just feels more. I feel like that kind of music. I mean, again, we talked about power metal and all that kind of stuff and like country music, and like obviously if I'm having a good time with my friends I don't want to listen to depressing ass fucking shit,
right.
But there's like when the music that I tend to listen to the most is usually that kind of stuff, is the more sorrowful, more like I said, tragic kind of music, and it just seems more relatable than persevere, happiness, because
I like angry.
Yeah, like, anger's another one.
Even if it's just frustration, like angry at the world, kind of like it could be slow and angry.
I mean it's. I just found this band recently, actually, because one of my favorite bands is I think you would like them a lot. It's one of my favorite bands. They're called Paradise Lost, but their guitar player has a side project called Strigoi. And they're just like, dude, what the fuck? I couldn't believe what I was listening to when I first heard it.
How do you spell that?
It's Strigoi, Strigoi, and it's I think it's what it's how you pronounce it. Yeah, Strigoi. And it's just like the slowest, like just it's. I mean, I don't want to say. I mean, it's not like super slow, but it's very like. It's very doomy and very heavy and just very angry, like aggressive music, you know. And I was listening to it and I was like, "What the fuck? This is brutal, dude." Because I mean, there's like the death metal brutal, but this, I don't know, this just felt different. It was more atmospheric, you know.
Honestly, that sounds familiar, like that name, because there's this band I listened to called Demonic Death Judge.
I remember we were talking about that last time.
Yeah, it's this Finnish doom metal band, and like they're super slow, but it's like angry almost. You know? Their riffs and the way the guy strums the guitar to fucking do the chugging, it's just like it sounds like he's like slamming on the guitar. It's like in the vocals, they sound like they're 100 miles away, but he sounds so fucking pissed off every time he sings, like just screaming into that microphone. They're not clean vocals at all,
right?
You know, but I put that on a playlist on Spotify. I think Strigoi came up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's what you're describing sounds exactly like Strigoi. Like, same thing, very like heavy, very just
heavy doom metal.
Yeah,
just like
it's the songs aren't polished at all. Like you can tell there's no production edits or anything. It's just like what they play is what they sound like, and it's just you know, fucking HM2 chainsaw sound, brutal as fuck, you know. And I actually was like really blown away by that. I was like, wow, these guys, like, this is, I mean, because a lot like death metal, a lot of times, like it's like sometimes it's like hard to like take it seriously, you know, because it's like a little like too like brutal fucking, you know, like brutal gutting this fucking cutting people's head off. Well, that band is that band
they
still
sound cool,
dude. They blow my fucking mind, man. Because I'm like,
some of their guitars sound really
it's like,
fucking
whoa,
cool,
like what
dude.
the fuck is even happening? That band is so good. But
I'm not a fan of like the lyrics and vocals. But
most people
the
that
guitars,
I talk to aren't.
like the guitars are insane.
Yeah, dude, and like, you know, I mean, I still like love death. I'm not saying I don't like death metal. I love death metal, but a lot of the times, like, I feel like it kind of gets that same kind of like don't take it serious, like kind of like we're talking about Steel Panther, you know, like obviously those guys aren't like going around gutting people, cutting people's heads off and
cutting
stuff,
babies in half.
Yeah, so it's like it's just they just want to do it because it's brutal, which is understandable. I mean, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But like bands like I said, like Strigoi, and like probably I haven't listened to Demonic Death Judge, but I need to. Like it was just another kind of death metal, you know. It was like it was almost like you know that there was some pain behind that shit, you know, and it was like not happy. There was no happiness in that at all. There was no there's no light at the end of the tunnel for this. It's like, yeah, you're fucked, and we're gonna tell you how much you're fucked.
I don't want to know where that comes from.
Huh?
Like you just don't want to know where that comes from.
Oh, dude, but you hear the music and you're just like, wow. Like, I mean, maybe that guy's been through nothing, you know, but he definitely conveyed it.
It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, he definitely conveyed the fact
Seems
that there's
like
been
he's
some
been through a lot.
Shit, yeah. It's the same thing with like a lot of the more sorrowful stuff too. You know, there's some pretty tragic tales that go into the music, and it's interesting. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot of that in other genres as well.
Yeah,
but metal is pretty much what I like to explore as far as like finding new bands.
Yeah,
I feel like the creativity, like the vastness of creativity is I don't know. I can recognize it easily in metal.
Yeah, I mean,
when it comes to rap, it's hard, or like country, you know, it's hard for me to distinguish like one artist from the other.
Yeah.
You know, it's for some reason metal, like it clicks to me. I can like dissect it.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I like that way that guitar sounds. I like the way what he's doing with this vocal. I like the reverb he put on those fucking like drums or whatever. Like I can just tell. Like other bands or like other styles of music, I'm just like, like
yeah. I mean, that's I do, and that I actually I agree with 100%. I mean, obviously from somebody else's perspective, they would think the same way of our genre. They'd be like, oh, you know, that just all sounds the same because their ear is not adapted to it. But metal seems to be like one of those genres that. And I've only got into this like in the more recent years, because before it was about like, you know, like I listened to music, but I wanted to like be in my own band and like do my own thing now. But like now it's like there's almost like an exploration like aspect in it, and I don't really know how to describe it. Like it feels like the best bands are the ones that you have to dig for. You know, I guess is like the best way to describe it. Like,
yeah, I mean, not all the best bands get attention.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of like myself and Mark, the drummer for Shores, like we go back and forth about this all the time, dude. Like just I mean literally all the time. It's like we're finding new bands and we're like check this out. He finds something on Bandcamp, I'll find something and send it to him. And it'll be back and forth and it's just like the most obscure stuff and it's fun. Like it's almost like there's a sense of accomplishment in it. Like and also the one thing that I've been like going down the fucking rabbit hole of lately is this whole like new wave of like traditional heavy metal that's been going. Have you heard of that?
Traditional heavy metal,
like you like the traditional like the Judas Priests and Iron Maiden and stuff like that. Well, there's like a revival. They call it the new wave of traditional heavy metal, which is like a bunch of newer bands that are doing that same kind of style, but they're like younger people, kind of like the whole like old school death metal revival. Did you hear about that at all?
I mean, there are a lot of bands that are like emulating that kind of style.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just like
Eternal comes to mind. The band that Tim is in it, right?
What?
Eternal with Emilio.
Oh, you're talking about the local band. Sorry, I was like,
dude, they're kind of doing that. They're like reviving the thrash death metal kind of style.
So that
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that
like, that's it. Maybe they're not associating with that movement, but it's kind of what they are.
Yeah, well, and there's a lot of bands that are doing that. It's a whole movement. It's like the whole like old school death metal.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, I really enjoy it too.
Early metal was fucking crazy. We need to bring that back, dude.
Well, and that's what's happening with the whole new wave of traditional heavy metal thing too. Is like they're doing the whole Judas Priest, Iron Maiden style. And dude, I've been eating that shit up with a spoon, man. It's so cool.
Judas Priest and Iron Maiden
are fucking awesome.
Really good.
Yeah, they're awesome. And there's a lot of bands that are like, or like I think another one that like a lot of people tend to like overlook is like Manowar, for example. Like nobody takes them seriously, but that band is like super influential on a lot of. On a lot of you know like power. It's like power metal, but it's like a darker version of power metal. Is I guess the best way to describe it. And it's like bands like Visigoth, which I'm like super obsessed with. Visigoth, dude, check them out. They're fucking awesome.
Dude. I like that name,
dude.
That's
They have so many like songs that you just listen to and you're like, this is awesome. Like they had a song called Steel and Silver, right? That I'm listening to and I'm just getting down, and the dude's like they sing the lyrics and everything, and I'm like, Steel and Silver. Why does this sound familiar to me? Like why do I like? And then come to find out, I was listening to the lyrics and the dude was like, he started mentioning like Karamorin and like Novigrad and stuff like that, and I was like, Steel and Silver, fucking Geralt of Rivia, The Witcher. You know, it's a song is about the fucking Witcher, and I was like, this is badass. So they had the Fire Seeker or Abyss Walker, which is like about like Dark Souls, and it's like. Like shit like that's cool. Like it's like music. It's like traditional music.
I'm wondering where they got that name from.
I don't know. It's a fucking badass name.
Because you know, on my bookshelf behind you, there's a series called Valiant.
Yeah,
it's like their own universe. It's like Marvel. And the first book is called Exo Manowar.
Yeah,
and it's literally about a like nomad tribe that's being chased by the Romans. During their expansion, and they're called the Visigoths.
Okay.
And one of them, or like a bunch of them, get kidnapped by this spaceship. They just get rounded up and taken away.
Yeah.
They thought they were the Romans. They thought they were ambushing the Romans. They're like, oh, we're going to ambush them. They come over the hill and see spaceships.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird. Like, fuck it. Let's charge them anyways. And they go charge them and they get just scooped up and taken as slaves.
Yeah.
And then the guy eventually finds like a, you want a beer?
Sure. I would love a beer.
Eventually he finds like this sacred suit of armor.
Yeah.
And he like watches a ceremony where one of the aliens just gets murdered trying to put it on.
Dude, see, I feel like you would love this kind of stuff then.
Yeah,
because it's all about like fantasy and everything. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty much this guy who's like a nomad. He gets taken as a slave by aliens.
Yeah.
He steals the ship after getting this armor, like fucks him up, steals the ship and says, take me back to Earth. It takes him back and it's like 2017.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. And he tries to like set down in Italy in a park,
right,
and like reclaim his land, and like it's just crazy. But like I'm wondering if they get Visigoth from that comic.
Well, it could, because the singer of the band, he has another project that's like, the reason why I found out about them was because the singer of the band has another project that's like a black metal project called Kaladin Brood, which is that album that they put out, the Echoes of Battle, is like my favorite album just ever. Like, I don't think there's anything that I like more than that. And they got that name from another like book series, the Malazan Book of the Fallen, and that's where they got that name from. So all their music is about like that super. There's no like serious emotion, nothing about it. It's all about fantasy. It's all about fiction. That's what I love. Like, another good example is Eternal Champion, as I was saying earlier. They're just like that. They have an album. I don't remember what the album was called, but it's the album cover is a naked chick with huge tits sitting on a throne of skulls being guarded by a giant fucking dragon, and she's got a leash in her hand with another chick with even bigger tits. And you look at the album cover and you're like, what the fuck does this mean? And it's like nothing, but it looks badass, you know? So it's just like, it's the same thing. And like Visigoth, for example, their Conqueror's Oath album is just like some fucking giant buff like chick on a horse like riding into battle, and it's like shit, dude, like it just looks cool, you know? It looks cool. It's aesthetically pleasing, and that's why I'm like super into it, is because
it's the heavy metal vibe, like the old heavy metal movie, that's like the magazine.
It's exactly what it is, dude. There's no
that style, dude. There's no from
gimmicks.
The 80s.
I'm sorry. There's no bells and whistles. There's no like. It's just like plug in your guitars to your amplifiers, drums, vocals. Let's go, you know. And it's like there's nothing else there. But it's like the songs are just so. You have to listen to it, man. I'll
have to check it out for sure. That sounds like it's something that I would like,
dude. And it's like, a lot of those bands, they don't put their records on like Spotify or Apple Music, so you have to really dig for them and find them. And there's a lot of gems, man.
It's so easy to put shit on Spotify, though.
Yeah,
they should just do it.
You know, I think. Honestly, to say the truth, I think it's the scene. I think that they don't want to do that because they're a part of that whole like underground kind of.
That's dumb.
Well, Visigoth is on Spotify because they're signed to Metal Blade, so they're like popular now. But there's a lot of
if you're signing a record, they'll have you on anything,
right? But like
everything.
A lot of underground bands are like, I think they're not doing that. Or like, for example, Warrior Path is another one that I'm really into. They put 2 songs off of each album on Spotify. And then they're like, okay, so you listen to these 2 songs. If you want to listen to the rest of the album, you either got to go buy it off of Bandcamp or go to YouTube.
Okay,
so
I could see that. I mean, I could see that. They're trying to keep their art.
Yeah,
they're trying to keep it valuable. That makes sense.
And I can respect that, you know. And I think that it's.
But like they chose to put like samples on Spotify. That's cool.
Right.
Like, if you're saying like, no, fuck that, I don't want to be on any streaming or nothing, like, you're dumb. Like, you're just you don't want to be out there then. Then all you want to do is play on a local stage forever.
Right.
That's all you want to do. Then that's okay. But like, don't say like, you know, you want to get out there and fucking tour and be successful and then like not stream your music.
Some of those guys are doing that though. They're doing it completely underground. There's a whole underground scene for all this kind of stuff, man. And it's like, I mean, there's another good example is black metal. Like, black metal is, I mean, a lot of the people, I understand like why people don't like it. Trust me, like I get it. I get it. Like anytime I ever bring up like my love for black metal, it's always the same thing. It's like, oh, the production is shit. The production is terrible. And it's like, yes, I know. I still like it. Like, I don't care. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like but like there's a whole like underground scene for all that too, you know, that nobody knows about. There's not on Spotify, it's not anywhere, but those bands are touring. They're touring all over the place. Some of these bands are going to Europe and coming back, and they don't have one song on Spotify, but they don't have, a lot of them don't even have songs on YouTube. And if they do, it's like really early, really bad demos, like you know. So but I do agree with you, like, you know, certain bands should, I mean, if you want to do something, you know, you kind of have to put your music on streaming services nowadays.
I guess maybe I'm just like, I'm more on the side of like, just share your craft, like share your art, and like, you know, like, why are you not giving it out? But, you know,
I'm on the same side as you. I think that
it's
like
an opinion. I don't know.
Well, and I agree. I think that it's also an easier way to get you more exposure quicker, you know. But some people don't want that, which is, I mean, that's their choice. You know, they want to stay in that whole underground thing, which is cool. You know, it's fun. It's something to belong to, you know. So
it's a different scene, that's for sure. Like, if you don't want to like do bigger shows and bigger productions, like, it is a different beast entirely. Like, that means you're showing up to a venue and like your equipment's set up you walk out on stage, play it, and then get back in the fucking bus to go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a totally different beast. The underground scene, like, you're partying with everybody afterwards.
Yeah, you're hanging out, having a good time.
You throw all your shit in your truck, and then you fucking lock it and hope for the best, and then just go back
probably
in the
gonna
bar.
get stolen, but it's like, fuck, dude, what?
Like, that's part of the scene. I don't know. Like, you get your shit stolen if you're in the underground scene.
Yeah, back your
Like,
trailer up against the wall so nobody breaks into it.
Yeah, fuck. Pay someone to stand guard. Hopefully you know them.
Dude, that's a real concern too. I've never had anything stolen like being out traveling.
You almost did.
I did?
When we stayed in Albuquerque.
We did?
If we didn't leave, dude, somebody would have broken that trailer.
Oh.
Dude, if we did not leave that night.
That's a good point.
Our shit would have been gone.
Because I do remember that. I don't know if you were with us, but we went, I think, were you?
Yeah, I was there. We went to a Walgreens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Walgreens we went to, and then the
Yeah.
lady's like, hey, by the way, there's somebody outside breaking into cars. And it's just like, what?
She's like, yeah, I was just outside checking for the guy breaking into cars. Like, you guys need any help? We're like, no.
And you know what the crazy part
good.
about that was like if this happened in like say like Scottsdale or something like that, that lady would have ran in the fucking Walgreens like freaking out, like calling the cops, like somebody's outside breaking into cars, whatever. She walked in like it was a normal fucking day. She was like walking by.
It was a normal occurrence because she was looking for the dude who was doing it.
She was so, but like it was so, she was so calm and so collective, and like in my brain, I'm like, she just said somebody's out there breaking into fucking cars, and she's like walking into the place, and it's just like, oh hey guys, yeah, by the way, you know, we're out there looking for somebody breaking into cars, and it's like, what?
Like, yeah, what's going on?
Huh? Like,
I don't know.
Are we gonna do something about this? Like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah. Meanwhile, we had a dude back at the parking lot trying to get weed off of a random stranger. We're just like, we need to go. Like, we'll meet you back at the hotel. Like, let's go.
Well, and like that hotel too was like, God, dude, like that was
sketchy.
It wasn't. I didn't realize what was going on too until we like read the like one of the like the sign things. They're like at night, make sure to like they had like lock boxes inside of the fucking like hotel room where they like put all your valuables and stuff inside the lock box at night.
Yeah, that
and if
was
somebody
nuts.
knocks on the door, don't answer it. And it's like these are notifications in a hotel room.
Yeah,
they're just telling you this.
There's
It's
like warnings on the. There was literally a placard on the door.
That's what it
saying,
was.
Like,
Placard, yeah.
If somebody knocks after 10 p.m., do not open the door.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god,
like,
dude. Like,
this is normal.
We're not staying here.
Yeah.
Like,
this is normal. Like,
oh
get
my
me the
God.
fuck out of here, dude. I don't want to die.
I'm kind of glad you guys didn't play that show because we would have been back to the hotel room way too late.
That was
there are no hotels in Albuquerque. What am I talking about?
That was I don't even remember what the because I do remember the situation was they basically were like, you know,
I remember it very well.
Yeah, they were like they didn't know that that Condemn was playing that night. Do you remember that?
They didn't understand that they were booking a metal band and a metal show.
Mm-hmm.
They were just looking for a local band to fill a slot in a stage, in air quotes, because you know, like it was a room with like a box, like a riser on one side, and like 3 tables with chairs that were just cluttering the whole space.
Yeah, and that was they double booked it. Like,
and they said you guys can play it here, and we're like, we're gonna no. This is metal. This is like loud, like fucking heavy metal. Like you can't play this in a room. Like it doesn't work. Like the chandelier was 5 feet from the floor.
Yeah.
So like you were banging your head on it, just standing there. Like you can't. We barely fit the drum. Like you could barely fit the drums on the riser just by itself.
Well, and they had double booked it that night too.
Yeah,
Remember,
and there
with
was a rap show. They had a bigger stage.
Yeah,
but there was a rap show. Like and on the same night, dude.
Well, I would have understood if it was like how Club Red was set up, how they had 2 venues. Like,
but it was a brick wall.
It wasn't even a brick wall. It was just like drywall. It was kind of fucking drywall wall. But there was a door on the side of the stage that had there was like a door port, but no door.
Yeah,
there's no sound insulation between the two, and it's just like you expect a metal band to play on this side of the drywall. Well, there's a rap artist playing on the side of the drywall.
And there was a line out the door for the rap show.
Like, that's... Dude, like,
It was not. It was not.
That's
like,
not going to end well.
Yeah,
That's
no.
not that it's like anything bad. Like violence can happen, but that's just going to be like you expect rappers to play over two like death metal bands right next to each other. Of course, the death metal bands are going to be louder than they are. Like that's the whole reasoning for things.
We would have gotten in a fight on soundcheck.
You think so? Oh, because there's been like, oh, these guys are loud as fuck. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, they would have been like performing, and we like.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they gotta fucking stop that shit. They'd be in that room in a half a second, dude. They'd have fucked us up.
Yeah.
Like, no, we would have been out. We would have probably lost all the gear too. Like, so
That-
I'm glad we left.
That was where I drew the line where I was super pushy about not playing was when they didn't even know like that Condemned was supposed to be playing that night, and it's like, how do you not how do you not know that? So it was like, nope, no, thank you.
And the guy who was running the bar was like
1,000.
He was not all there.
Wait, dude,
Like,
that guy looked like he was about to fucking die. Like he was like,
Well, he was
like 80?
he was an older guy, but like he wasn't all there. He was filling in for the manager. Like,
oh my god,
he wasn't actually the guy. And then he asked to buy an album or like an EP from Argonaut.
Yeah.
And I walked out to the trailer to get an EP. Or I asked him for the cash, you know, and he handed me he wanted to hand me like a bunch of dimes. Like it was like he wanted to pay $10 and a bunch of dimes.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, dude, I can't accept this. You know, like I can't do this. Because like there was a line of people that I don't know how many face tattoos there were in that line. But like, shit, dude, I didn't want to open the whole fucking trailer of band gear up to the world just to grab one EP to sell it to this dude who like doesn't listen to metal.
Yeah.
Like I know he was not a metalhead.
Right.
He just wanted it because the band was showing up. Like,
I felt like that guy's heart was going to stop at any moment.
my God. I just had to tell him no. Like, nah, dude, I can't do this.
Unfortunately, no.
I'm not unlocking this trailer.
Sorry, but no. It's
Nope.
There's certain
Like
places
we're on Spotify. We're on YouTube.
check us out. Have fun. That's where those streaming services come in handy.
Perfect.
Go listen to us there.
You don't have to open up your trailer.
If you were an underground fucking new wave of traditional heavy metal band, you'd be fucked. So get your music on Spotify.
Or you just tell him no.
Yeah, I just be like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, because you probably wouldn't listen to it anyways. He just wants a souvenir.
I think he would have gotten it and set it down and just forgot it existed.
Yeah,
and walked away.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it would have like been on a shelf in the bar for 7 years. I don't know.
It would have been a momentum that, like, you know how like certain like I mean, I don't know anything. I can't think of anything specific off the top of my mind, but like certain places will be like, you know, here's a momentum of like somebody super famous.
Oh, it's you know, the airbrush of Guy Fieri on all the restaurant walls.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing,
go.
but except there'd be some local band from Arizona played at this fucking. It was a pastry shop, wasn't it?
No, it was.
Like
I think
a
it used
diner.
to be a thrift shop, and then it turned into Red Velvet Lounge.
Because I remember walking in there and there was like a fucking like pastry display, like you could like buy pastries.
It was a bar.
Okay,
but I'm sure they had a local bakery like sell their pastries there.
Bar, bakery, pastry, everything the same.
It was like some hipster joint, dude. It was like really bad. It was in a bad part of the town.
Yeah,
but when we walked in, there was a solo acoustic folk singer on the stage next to the bar.
Yeah,
stage. I use that word very generously.
Yeah,
but she was singing into a single microphone to all these poor folks in the
just
in
trying
the bar.
To enjoy their fucking.
I don't know why they were there.
Pastries.
I have no idea why they were there, dude. The place looked like shit, man.
It
was really bad.
That was probably one of the worst. It wasn't. I don't think it was the worst place I ever played in my entire life. But well, actually, because we didn't play, but yeah, I think that probably was like one of the worst places I've been to. I think the worst place I've been to was Ybor. That place was fucking nuts. That place was really scary. So that was
what was it?
Ybor in Florida. I think it was Ybor. How you say it in Florida?
I don't remember.
I didn't know. Like
you played in Condemned.
No. I played this with Wolfheart as being a session guy.
Oh, Wolfheart.
So,
that's when you went on tour with Wolfheart.
Yeah, that was Ybor. Was we were hanging. I don't remember. That place was fucking sketchy as fuck, dude. I remember. Like, there were certain points at at like night where I was like, I'm going to die right now. Like, there's no way I'm gonna. Well, because there was friends there, like people that like were friends of, you know, and that not friends of mine. I just met them, but friends of one of my friends that was playing as well, and we were just hanging out nonchalant, like everybody outside the venue talking at like 1 a.m, and then all like there's people just like randomly running out of a bar like 100 feet from us, just screaming, this guy's got a gun, fucking run. And it's like, and they're just standing there like keep talking, and I'm like, hello, people are running out of this bar because someone's got a fucking gun, and you guys are just standing here talking like, what? Huh? Like, are we just gonna? What, are we gonna go inside? What's gonna happen? And they're just standing there talking like no big deal. You know what I mean? And then, you know, we're
what's he gonna do? Shoot us?
Yeah, what's he gonna do? Fucking kill us? Like, oh, we're depressed anyway. You know,
let's do it.
I was just so confused. I was like we're just gonna stand here, and then like one of the people that like walked like ran out of the fucking bar with like holding his like pants, basically like it's probably the guy with the gun, like jumps in a car and just starts like driving super fast after the people that had ran out of the bar, and then everybody that we're talking to, hanging out with, was just like laughing, and they're like, oh, hide behind this trailer, you know, like so we don't get shot. And I was like, so we don't get shot, like, and this is funny to you? Like, what is happening? You know, I'm like so confused. And then there's like, you know, just again, like it wasn't scary. Like, it was scary to me, but what was more scary was like how the locals were reacting to it. It was like, this is just normal for us, and it's like, all right, well, I guess, you know,
yeah,
this is normal for you guys. It's a regular occurrence. So, you know, when you go to a Domino's pizza and like you go to buy pizza and there's like bulletproof fucking glass.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like at the cashier register, and it's like, okay, this is a sketchy place.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
They have like it almost looks like a jail. They have like the little circle where you have to like talk through.
It was a cool venue, but it was like I don't know, outside of everything else, I was just like, whoa, like people can be like this? What the fuck?
I wonder if they got any better.
Huh?
I wonder if it got any better.
I doubt it. That's not in the
Has anywhere gotten better?
I was gonna say that I don't think that's in the human genome, is for things to just get better.
Well, I mean, things did get better at one point. Like, when did it stop getting better?
I don't know one point in time where things got better than how it already was.
Cities grew at one point, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, tell me a city that's better than it was 10 years ago. One city. Like,
I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like, when did things stop?
Yeah.
Because dude, Phoenix grew so huge, and it's still growing.
Yeah.
But like, was it better 10 years ago? Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
10 years before that, it was probably better.
I think 10 years ago I didn't give a fuck, so I was just like...
Oh, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, it was probably better for like my parents, at least.
I think it was better in our minds because we just didn't care, but now like we see everything, so...
10 years ago, I was like... I don't know. I was still an adult, so... I gave a little bit of a shit. I mean, I was in the Navy, so it didn't really matter that much, I guess.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Oh, okay. So there is an age gap between me and you.
A little bit.
Okay, because I'm 25, so that's why I was like...
There's a few years there.
Yeah, because I was like, because you said you were an adult, and I was like, what the fuck? 10 years ago, I was like fucking 14. What is this guy talking about?
There's a little bit of an age gap there.
Yeah. It's not super far, so...
No.
Yeah.
But I was in the Navy, but I mean, I'm sure there were less people at least. Phoenix now has too many people for the roads.
I think that's just like overpopulation of the world in general.
Yeah, but like, we're not very far from the border, and there's a lot of people coming there. Yeah. And then there's a lot of people moving from California.
Yeah.
And we're getting like a lot of people moving into Phoenix. There's a lot of businesses moving to Phoenix because the land is cheap, bringing workers with them.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this place is getting over fucking crowded. The freeways are dangerous.
Yeah.
So dangerous.
It does.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it does get pretty hectic sometimes, honestly. I think the world in general is just getting overpopulated.
I mean, yes and
but
no.
that's just natural human process, though. I think that's going to happen.
I think that nobody wants to actually take on the challenge of logistics to actually, like, spread people out to like sustainable areas rather than just grouping in cities that have already been established.
Yeah.
It's a like matter of like the evolution of like, I don't want to say capitalism, but like greed almost, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's like the evolution of greed. Like, people just want to continue what they've made and make them bigger and better. And, you know, I think that cities have a maximum limit.
Well, it's also easier to control people, too, when you have them all in one spot. So
Yeah, and I just don't think that we're going to make more cities. We're just going to try to keep growing the ones we got.
Yeah, I mean, until the entirety of the world just becomes one giant metropolitan area. So
It's not going to happen.
What do you mean?
We're gonna fuck shit up before
Oh, yeah, I
it
mean,
turns into Coruscant.
I think that that's probably that. I mean, that's just like seems like it's natural human selection at this point, though.
What I'm saying is like the direction that we grow and
Yeah.
the direction that we make cities and how they grow and
Yeah.
develop. Like, there is no cap.
Yeah.
We don't stop and say like, okay, time to make a new city. Like, no, it's just it keeps going and getting bigger. Like, we don't know what the limit is.
Yeah.
We just keep making it bigger, and
It's-
hopefully it doesn't crash.
It's a
But
virus.
I'm having a feeling we've met that limit already.
It's a virus. The life in itself is a virus. It's just what it does. You know, it
guess.
grows, and it manipulates itself to the point to where, you know, it's. I mean, that's just. I mean, it's life
Yeah,
is no
I think
different.
that there's enough land mass on the surface of the Earth to where we could keep going with our population.
Oh, for sure.
What I'm saying is like the Earth is not overpopulated.
Well, and we've also like, yeah. I mean, I guess that is a good point to bring up. And but where there's also, I mean, we're 75% of the Earth is all fucking water, and we haven't have even figured out
then
how
look
to
at the percentage of populated of land, like surface area of
Yeah.
populated areas versus surface area of wilderness.
Yeah.
It'll blow your mind, dude. It's like 3%. It's like so low, so little. So it's like it's not a matter of like too many people. It's a matter of poorly managing all of these people.
That's a good
Like,
point.
it's a management problem. It's not a numbers problem.
I'm humbled enough to admit that you definitely opened my mind to that, because I didn't think about it like that. I
Yeah,
just
it's
see
not
a lot
too many people. It's we don't know what to do with
I
all
just
of
see
them.
a lot of people, and I'm like, I fucking hate all of you. Like, get away from me, you know.
In Phoenix, it's hard to ignore, man.
Yeah, well, especially when you've lived in because I didn't grow up in like you know, a city environment. You know,
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in like I did and I didn't. A lot of my life I lived in like Litchfield before it was like very like
Litchfield?
yeah before it was very like built up.
Yeah,
though,
that's
you
kinda
know,
out
so
there.
It's not out there, but like it's a lot more farmland. You know, so you
Yeah.
you get used to like seeing farmland, and as opposed to being in like the major like city hubs of everything. So, but now out in that area, it's like
Yeah, they built up Avondale
Yeah,
and all that bullshit.
yeah,
like,
it's completely like overrun. But when I was a kid, like it wasn't like that, you know, because my parents, my mom, and my stepdad, they didn't have a lot of land, but they had like you know a decent amount of land. But everything around it was all like you know like crops, cornfields, potatoes, all that kind of stuff,
Agriculture.
agricultural areas.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it wasn't super built up, you know, as it like it is now. So, you know, like I've lived in the city since I was 14, so I've seen like both sides, and also I've like people like my family in Texas and like my family in Utah and stuff like that. They don't live in the city at all, so it's
Yeah.
I mean literally at all. So it's nothing. I mean they're out in the middle of nowhere, so like seeing them and visiting them and staying with them, it's like you kind of get used to that, and then coming back to the city, it's like it just feels super cramped. And I guess I mean it's antisocial as well, but I do agree with you on the fact that I don't think it's as overpopulated, but it just feels like it's overpopulated because we live in the city. So
yeah, dude, it's a matter of perspective, really. Like,
Yeah.
you see a lot of people here, and it's fucking nuts. Like,
yeah,
even like sometimes me and my girlfriend, we go drive up to Payson just for the hell of it, or
Yeah.
like to Flagstaff, or like we'll just go drive somewhere where it's less populated, and like you'll just immediately feel a difference. Like when
Yeah,
you're there,
that's a good
like
point.
you're just like, fuck. It's almost like you can breathe again.
Well, that's
Like,
one of
there's
the
less people.
that's one of the best parts about traveling in general too, is seeing seeing the land for what it is as opposed to what it can become. You
Yeah.
drive through the actual desert or the actual forest, and you see it for like, because that's just like a lot of that's just natural, that just happens. It's not like completely graded over and like built up for a city. It's just naturally occurring I guess, phenomenons. So that's like always, that's one of my favorite parts about traveling too. But yeah, I mean, like, I think you're definitely right in the fact that this world could be a lot worse because we haven't even like figured out how to live underwater. But I guarantee you we will. So
maybe
I think we will.
I think there's a long way to go on land, and we'll probably be better off living in space than underwater, honestly.
Maybe
because water is so heavy.
Yeah,
and it's like it's a really difficult obstacle to get around.
Yeah,
because of the pressure and how heavy it is.
Right.
Like space is literally the opposite of heavy.
Yeah.
So it's like. I feel like that's almost an easier challenge in a way.
Yeah.
Radiation is like the bigger challenge. It's like a different wall, you know? Radiation is the other wall.
Yeah.
And then like the ocean depth is like the equivalent, I guess, as far as
this vacuum of space. But I mean, technically there's a vacuum underneath the water too. It just
you better make a vacuum.
Yeah.
You're going to get crushed if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, dude. But it's like the opposite of a vacuum. It's like you're trying to make a vacuum by pushing out.
Yeah.
Rather than like in space, you're like
compresses you down into nothing.
Yeah, space, you're like trying to suck everything in and create like a pressure.
That's actually one of my goals and interests that I want to do really soon, as soon as possible, is go scuba diving.
Scuba diving?
I really want to go scuba diving.
That shit sounds terrifying.
It sounds very terrifying, and that's why I want to do it. It just looks like, I mean, there's a lot of like YouTube videos that I get into watching, and it's like dudes like scuba diving on like oil rigs in the ocean.
Oh
so
God.
Where you just look down and it's just like the abyss. And it's like, fuck, dude, that looks terrifying. But at the same time, like, could you imagine like seeing that for yourself? Like just what it would feel like, you know what I mean?
No, I can't.
No.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
I don't really like the idea of like the abyss of the ocean. Like,
well, I mean, that's
crazy.
That's
man.
their domain. You know, that's not our domain.
I'd rather think about space.
Whoever they are, you know, whatever Lovecraftian entities live underneath the fucking ocean, that's their domain. You know.
I mean, they won't ever really affect us. It's just too much of a barrier.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, I don't need to go down there. You know, like I have no reason to go down to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, it's like jumping out of a plane. You don't need to jump out of a plane. People are just
there's
like,
nothing out there in the air that's gonna swallow you whole. You know what I mean? Like I'll jump out of a plane. That sounds like fun. Cool.
Yeah.
I just gotta like, you know, pack my parachute right.
There was,
but like under the water, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong.
and there's a lot of things that we don't know that's down there too, which is even scarier. It's like the
Yeah.
unknown. I think that's like another like Lovecraft fucking thing is like, you know, fearing the unknown. We don't, you know, the biggest fear of man is fear of the unknown, and that's like the great unknown. That's just as unknown as space. So it's like, you know, actually, I think it's actually like we know more about space than we know about the ocean, isn't it? Or we've explored more space than we've explored the ocean.
I mean,
right?
It's hard to compare because like
Yeah.
you're using different instruments, you're
Yeah.
using different measurements.
That's a good
like,
point, too.
Space is so vast.
Yeah.
The distance to the moon is like hard to comprehend alone.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that's 80 million miles.
Takes 3 days to get
Or no,
to the moon.
the sun is like 80 million. It's like 76 million miles or something away.
Yeah.
The moon is like I forget what the moon is, but it's a good number
Pretty
of miles.
far, you know. It takes
It's
3 days to get there.
way further than how deep the ocean is.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like the vastness of space, it's hard to compare that to the vastness of the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, it's hard to get through the ocean. It's hard to explore because water's heavy.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, put radio waves through it. Like,
Right.
it stops all sort of electromagnetic waves. So it's like, you can't... It's hard. The only way to, like, explore the ocean is use sonar.
Yeah.
Like, pinging audio. Like, ding! And then seeing what comes back.
Yeah.
But, like... You know, it's hard to explore like things that move.
That's kind of a scary thought too. It's like, what happens when something does ping back from that sonar? You're just like, what is
Well, it's just going to be cliffs and mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
If it moves,
Yeah.
it's going to be like, well, it was probably a whale
Yeah. Something, or if it's
or
bigger than a
some
whale.
Russian submarine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some Russian nuclear submarine. You ever seen those like videos of like unexplored there's like mines and stuff, like still like underwater mines like still there, but like just like ticking time bombs that can explode at any moment?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Don't hit them.
Huh?
Don't
Yeah,
hit
hit
'em.
them. I go down those rabbit holes too of like seeing like fucking like unexplored like minefields and stuff in like the ocean and people scuba diving through them, and that's like crazy.
I mean, you could scuba dive it. Like, what are you gonna do as a human? Like, good luck trying to set one of those off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just scary. Like, it's like that thing's gonna explode. That thing can explode at any moment.
Could.
You know?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
I feel like it's got to be hit pretty hard, right?
it's gotta be hit by a submarine. When a submarine hits it, that's when it detonates.
I wonder if a whale could do it.
Probably.
Do you ever think a whale's hit one of those hard
fucking
enough?
whale is gonna have a really bad day.
You know,
they're not gonna know any better. They're gonna think it's food and just like try to bite on it, huh?
Submarines collide with whales.
They do.
That's a normal thing, yeah. Because you don't really use sonar a lot.
Yeah.
Because it gives your position away.
What?
So if you're on a mission where you don't want your position given away, you're not touching sonar.
Yeah.
So you're just going through the water. Like
what the fuck?
They've mapped enough of the mountain ridges under the water. They've mapped all of these things. So like, if your coordinates are correct, you won't hit anything because you know where everything is.
But you'll hit a whale.
You don't know where the whales are.
That's a good point because they're always
like,
moving.
Yeah, I mean, you could like ping and you'll see the whales, you know. But like, dude, you hit a whale and it fucking. I don't know, dude. The whale definitely doesn't survive that shit.
Probably not.
No way.
A big metal tube running into a fucking whale.
Boom.
It's gonna be like that thing's dead, bro.
It's definitely heavier than the whale.
Yeah, for sure.
But like the people in the submarine feel it. Like I've had my instructors when I was in the Navy, they would tell me stories about that shit.
Let's tell you stories about like whales hitting fucking submarines.
Well, you're in the submarine and just like boom, like oh shit, like
shit.
did we hit something? Are we gonna die? Are we falling?
Hit a whale.
Like no, it's just a whale. Like oh god, thank
God. Just a whale. Yeah, it's just a whale. No big deal,
like,
dude.
Anything else, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
Like a whale is the least of your worries.
Yeah, fuck that whale, dude. You know,
probably have to go back to port for repairs. But
you'd piss off PETA really badly. They'd
damn,
be
you hit another submarine, you're fucked.
Yeah,
you hit a mountain, like you're dead. You're all dead.
Yeah,
there's no living. You don't just like pull the lifeboat and float to the top. Like no,
you fucked, dude.
The submarine's gonna just
because if you go to the top, then you're gonna get the fucking bends, bro. So it's like
well, it's not even that. Like the submarine's gonna just go.
It's gonna
crush. Like as soon as the pressure stops working, it's gonna just and all the air is gonna just go.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be horrible.
Yeah,
that shit's happened to people. Like that, submarines have gone missing. Like there's still submarines they haven't found yet. But yeah,
I don't think you'll ever find it. This has been the most interesting conversation I think I've had in a long time.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
We started with music, then we went to space, then what did we go to? Music, and then we went back to space, and now we're on the ocean.
I don't know. There's probably a few other turns in there.
Probably.
I know we talked about like some video games and fantasy shit.
Yeah, video games and fantasy. Like, oh yeah, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
man.
Well, you got to get out of here.
Yeah,
or
pretty soon.
That's cool, man. It was good having you on.
Thank you.
And you're welcome back. You and your bandmates.
I think we should do it again very soon, and we should do it with myself and either Tim or Mark. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll try to grow this thing.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. It's good having you on, man.
Peace. Bam.